Thank you for making time to remember Peter's Day. And it's not lost upon us that some of you, and you know who you are, had to rush back from Venice, Italy after attending the Isa Sanchez wedding. I'm looking at you, Guy Coyote. So if we see some of you dozing off, we know it's just because of jet lag. So why have we come here today? It's simply because Peter Kwong is no longer with us. Some of us are still in shock and major denial. It just can't be true. Others of us are deep in a grieving process already. But by being here together in person or online, it makes his unexpected departure, his unanticipated death, truly sink in. It's real. It really happened. He's gone. But Peter's leaving is causing us to reflect on what he meant to us and what he accomplished in his life. And perhaps even making us pause to ponder our own mortality, even if just for today. Would you please bow your heads with me? God of all comfort, make us aware of your quiet presence with us today. Create in us the capacity to truly appreciate who Peter was, not just to Hollywood, not just to as many fans around the world, but to each of us personally. Help us to fathom what we had and what we now have lost. Help us to believe that you, in your great mercy and unconditional love, have welcomed Peter into the great beyond with open arms. We pray this in Jesus' name. Amen. If you look in your program, there are a couple little quotations there, and I'd like to read the second and the third one. Acting is about finding the truth in every moment, even when it's uncomfortable. And finally, acting is a spiritual quest to touch human beings. Acting is so much more than that, but I thought that these two quotes really touched on what Peter was all about. I grew up with Peter in Sacramento at the First Chinese Baptist Church. Our families both attended that church, and my late sister was one of the other Chinese Americans that I knew in Sacramento that was interested in acting, so she and Peter spent a lot of time commiserating. I remember my sister tried out to be one of the Von Trapp family at the Sound of Music, at the Music Circus. This is in the late 60s. And she told Peter, yeah, the lady came up to me in line and said, no one's gonna believe this. Go home, okay? So when Peter told us that he was headed to Hollywood, we just kind of shook our head, but off he went. To share his personal history now, I'm gonna call up his brother, David Kwong, and I'm sure we're all going to learn something, even if we knew him a long time. David?
Thank you. Boy, please bear with me. I'm not prepared for speeches. I don't make speeches very well. I'm David. I'm Peter's brother. I just want to share, I want to thank everybody for being here today. And I just want to basically share a little bit about Peter's childhood and some background until we got to Los Angeles, basically. Bear with me, I can't see anymore. Peter was born on April 9th, 1952 in Sacramento. He was the youngest of my father's 6 children. And my father had my father had 2 families. A brother and a sister was born in China, and then there were 4 siblings born in the United States. And Peter was born and raised in Sacramento, so he's from Northern California, and my parents and three youngest brothers, within 5 years, they were raised together. And we have basically a restaurant. We were grown up, prepared food and things like that. So we never. I have to speak to the microphone. I apologize. I'm not used to this. Okay. One thing about Peter, though, is that while there were plenty of food that was provided for the family, Peter did not grow like the rest of us. All my other siblings were big and broad like I was, and Peter was much smaller. He was only 5 feet 4 inches tall when he graduated from high school, so he was a small person. However, because not only was he the youngest, but he was the smallest of us, and that unfortunately put him in the position of being picked on by his older brothers. His personality has always been one that's been very active and very forward, as you all know. And to become more visible, he became more involved in high school and community political issues, and also involved in performing in the high school drama performances and arts. And he started his interest in martial arts. Basically, I think he did that to protect himself because of his size. Peter graduated from Norte Del Rio High School in 1970 and proceeded to California State University in Sacramento. While he continued to grow in the theatrical arts and everything else like that, his growth was also physical. He grew 5 inches in college, which is dramatic. If anybody know how everybody grows when they're in high school or junior high school, not in college, but it gave him a lot of extra energy, a lot of very, very positive energy going out. And for that, he knew what he wanted to do, and that was to perform. So when he graduated from CSUS in 1974, Peter moved to Los Angeles. That's where his life began, his new life began. So he was also the main contact person in our family. As you know, he touches people, and this is what he did in our family too. He was one. Our family have grown in sizes. We have family in China, in Canada, in Maryland, and in Northern California. But he was the one who made the contacts to connect us all the time, phoning us, doing videotapes, connecting us that way. And so he kept the family together, and that's how he does with friends. And so that's not uncommon for Peter. And so you know that part of his background. Peter was particularly close to my mom. As she got older, she passed away when she was 92 in 2008. But for the last 10 years, Peter and I shared the responsibility of taking care of her. So every year, I would send her down to Los Angeles, and he would take care of her, and then he would send her back to Sacramento, and I would take care of her up there. And so he was very, very close to my mom. And so after the services here and is taken care of, Peter will be cremated, and some of his ashes will be taken back to Sacramento and buried with my parents. Okay, and that's basically what I want to share. That brings you up to his age. So who's next? Thank you, Ken.
Thank you so much, David. Planning this service, one of the biggest challenges was limiting how many people were going to speak, because lots of people wanted to say something in tribute to Peter. So if you're here and you didn't make the cut, we apologize, but we still have to eat lunch later. But I want to start us off. It's going to be a combination of eulogies and also making a floral tribute. So each of the speakers, as you see listed, are going to come up in order. They're going to receive a flower, and they're going to place it in the casket on Peter's hands, and then come up and share a personal story. So to start us off, Anthony Tacono.
Good morning. So Debbie has asked me to keep this to less than 5 minutes today. So here goes. So I was very fortunate to be a lifelong friend of Peter. We first met when we were sophomores in high school in Sacramento. Peter and I, we had a number of classes together, mostly math and science. And Peter was a very good student. In fact, he was a top student. I can remember when we were seniors, we were both selected to compete in Cal Poly's annual statewide math competition. So we got to spend a weekend in San Luis Obispo competing with other students at Cal Poly Royal. That was a fun occasion for us. We double dated to our senior ball, and our dates were very good students also. So afterward, Peter said we were the smartest foursome at the senior ball. And that may sound a little self-promoting, but of course, after all, Peter was planning to be an actor. Peter was ambitious. He ran for president of our high school class. He was also a hard worker. One summer he worked on our farm, waking up at 5 a.m. To pick prunes on his hands and knees in 100-degree heat in Northern California to make $5 a day. That's hard work. Sometimes I would drive Peter to his, after school, to his family's home on Potomac Avenue, North Sacramento. And Peter's mom was so nice to me and so sweet. She would always give me something to eat. And so that's the first time I ate chao shi bao. And it was delicious. I still eat it. So after high school, we both went on to college. And David was at UC Davis, as I was. And Peter would come visit me when he came to visit David. And we would have long discussions about life. Strange for college kids. After college, I met the love of my life. And my bride-to-be, Norma. So I called Peter. I asked him to be my best man. So I went down to LA and stayed with him at his apartment in Maltman Avenue. And we went shopping for rings and tuxedos and other things. Then we flew down to Mexico for the wedding. And Peter, at our wedding reception, Peter's dancing was one of the highlights. He was a great dancer. In the 80s, Peter started having success as an actor. And it was very exciting for all of us. And of course, Peter was turning into a reality, what most of us thought was just a dream. So we stayed in touch. Peter would visit us when he would go up to visit his family in Sacramento. He would stop by and visit us. And we would when we came down to LA to take the kids to Disneyland or the other LA tourist attractions, we would visit Peter and we'd have a nice dinner. When our son Matthew started film school in LA, his uncle Peter helped him move in. And when Matthew graduated with his cinematography, his Uncle Peter helped him understand better the ins and outs of the film and TV industries. So Matthew's here today to honor his uncle. And he's taking a video of today's service. So Peter, I have a pain here. Tear my eye when I think of you. But I also have memories of the good times we had together. My condolences to David and Debbie and family. And Debbie, thank you for all your hard work in organizing this service today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anthony. I'd like to call up David Kono.
I'm good. Thank you, sir. Oh, that's all right. My fat butt will hold it down. Sorry. Not really. My name is David Kono, and I was told I only had 3 minutes. And there's a few people here that know me, and they know that I'm long-winded, so I promise I won't be today. My journey with Peter started in the mid-'80s, right after Big Trouble in Little China. I went to an event with my best friend, who was the new vice president of diversity at Sony, and he got invited to this organization called CAPE, Coalition for Asian Pacific Entertainment. And he got invited because they wanted him to be a part of that group. I ended up getting invited because I was co-chairing the LA Asian History Month for the city of Los Angeles. And we went to this event at CAPE, and Peter was the first person that walked up and introduced himself to us. And so for the next 40 so years, for the next 20 years, Peter would always remember our names. We had basically not much to do in the entertainment industry at that time. Peter and I reconnected in the 90s through martial arts, and specifically with the Martial Arts History Museum located in Glendale, California. That was our club. And Debbie, you can say that the table is open for him. But anyway, so that was our initial journey. Peter was, you can imagine Peter at any kind of event, and it didn't matter whether it was a picnic, it was a formal event, but he always looked great. And I had lunch with Peter this past Memorial Day, and at that time we were talking about doing a film together where we were going to get all these older Asian male actors, and we're going to do some kind of silver fox thing, because that sounds a lot better than like old guys, right? And so we were planning on getting together and doing this film, and we were getting there was a lot of people that were volunteering to produce and direct this, just so that they could say they were working with all these old people. But that was Peter. Anytime there was an event, martial arts, the Screen Actors Guild, or with any of the I'm sorry, I go through memory loss, so I have problems remembering. Actors, organizations like that, because Peter was very active, and when I started doing stunt work, Peter would always volunteer to help out. And if you're doing this, for those of you who do stunt work or in that part of the industry, and you get hurt, you need to see a doctor and things like that, but a lot of us were kind of cheap, and we would go see somebody, but Peter would always volunteer and do the laying of hands, and always would make us feel so much better. So the things that I take from Peter is it didn't matter who you were, or what you were, or where you were in your life. He always had a kind word for you, and he always had time for you. And there's just so few people that still do those kinds of things. And yet he was always very humble. I have a video that I had taken a couple years back with Peter using 2 swords. And for those of you who know him, for that, he was really, really good at it. And I have one of my students who's a sword master, has been watching that video for the past four years now, and he wanted to show Peter that he could do it, but they never had a chance. They were talking about it on Memorial Day, but never got to do it. But those are the things I'm going to remember: his smile, him being courteous, him being always there for you if you needed a hand. Not better for the something. So, for those of you, if you believe in anything, just remember Peter because of his heart, because that transcended a lot of things. Thank you.
Thank you so much, David. Next, we're going to hear from Dr. Cynthia Clark.
Oh, not easy. I met Peter in 1983 when we were both running for SAG board of directors. We were rivals, but not for long. We became best friends. I'm going to read a poem written by a priest, Henry Scott Holland. And hopefully it's a little bit comforting. Death is nothing at all. It does not count. I have only slipped away into the next room. Nothing has happened. Everything remains exactly as it was. I am, and you are you. I am I and you are you. And the old life that we live so fondly together is untouched, unchanged. Whatever we were to each other, that we are still. Call me by my old familiar name. Speak of me in the easy way, which you always used to do. Put no difference in your tone. Wear no forced air of solemnness or sorrow. Laugh, as we always laughed at the little jokes that we enjoyed together. Pray, smile, think of me, pray for me. Let my name be ever the household word it always was. Let it be spoken without effort, without the ghost of a shadow upon it. Life means all that it ever meant. It's the same as it ever was. There is absolute and unbroken continuity. What is this death but a negligible accident? Why should I be out of my mind, or out of your mind, or out of sight, just because I am out of sight? I am but waiting for you, for just an interval, somewhere very near. Just around the corner.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Cynthia. Now I'd like to call Guy Aoki.
In 1992, I helped to form the first Asian American media watchdog group, Media Action Network for Asian Americans, or MANA. At the time, I didn't expect Asian American actors to become involved with us because they were having a hard enough time as it was, just getting small parts on TV or in motion pictures and stereotype roles at that. If they were labeled troublemakers, then they'd have an even harder time making progress in their careers. But many actors did become active and came to our meetings, like Krista Shima. He was an early supporter, and it didn't stop him from winning an Oscar for Visas and Virtue. Kelvin Han Yi was there, Tai Ma, Cal Penn. Some actors even joined us in our protest against the movie The Last Airbender. And then there was Peter Kwong. As Mana tried to impact the industry from the outside, Peter was working on the inside as a national board member of the Screen Actors Guild and AFTRA. And he was on many committees trying to gain opportunities for our actors. He was oftentimes kicked off those committees from conservative members who didn't want to share power and didn't like the way he stood his ground on many important issues. In 2001, comedian Sarah Silverman was on Conan O'Brien's late night talk show doing a routine about trying to get out of jury duty. So she goes, well, my friend said I should write something racist on the form, like, I hate Chinese slur. But I didn't want people to think I was racist, so I wrote, I love racist Chinese slur. Because she was playing an ignorant character, she thought she could get away with it. And Mana said, no, look. We knew that this word was sometimes the last thing a hate crime victim heard as they were being beaten and stabbed to death. This was not a term that you could use in a kind of flippant way. So we issued a press release. Associated Press picked it up, and it was everywhere. I spoke to Sarah's manager. She sent me a letter, an email on a Monday. It was very cordial. I sent her back another letter. I said, I agree. We don't have to be enemies. We can have lunch. We can talk about this. Instead, 2 nights later, I'm flipping channels before I go to bed, and there she is on Politically Incorrect with Bill Maher. Huh? And they're talking about me. Her, Tucker Carlson, Howie Mandel, ridiculing me, ridiculing Mana, and the cause. How did she get to be on the show so quickly? Well, her manager was the producer of the show. Talk about a conflict of interest. Our TV coalition was already set to meet with the president and the vice presidents of ABC. Our chair raked them over the coals for this, including not giving me a chance to speak for myself and defend myself. Later on, the president of ABC looked at the tape. He said, yeah, this is bad. He called up the producers of the show. He said, you put Guy on with Sarah, and you make this a fair fight. It became the most contentious debate in the show's history. And it's on YouTube, you can check it out. But we forgot to upload the final segment where I called her unfunny, she lost it, called me a douchebag, lost the audience, and then lost the debate. Years later, Peter Kwong called me up. Sarah was being seen in a dramatic role that was getting buzz. Her people were hosting an Academy screening, trying to get people to nominate her for an Oscar. Peter told me, Guy, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go up to Sarah and I'm gonna say, I just want you to know, Guy Oki's a friend of mine, and I will never forgive you for the way you treated him on that show. And I'm not gonna vote for you, and I'm gonna tell everyone that I know in the Academy to not vote for you, not just for this movie, but for everything you do for the rest of your career. I went, whoa. Okay, I'm flattered. Okay, but unfortunately, you're not a big enough name to have the impact you want. And Peter, we need to have you on screen representing us. If you do this, you're gonna get less roles. We need to see you on screen, Peter. And I don't think it's gonna help your reputation with the Academy. He goes, okay, you're right, I won't do it. So he kept quiet, and Silverman didn't get the nomination anyway. But most people, especially Asian Americans who want so much to be liked and get along with people, would never have done something like this. I mean, who's gonna go there, take a stance like that, go out of their way to fight a battle on somebody else's behalf? But Peter Kwong stood on principle, and he couldn't tolerate injustice. So thank you, Peter. When I want to remember you, I can go to your Facebook page, I can see your videos on YouTube, and I can rewatch you being on a panel discussion, surprisingly taking out your swords and going to a sword dance. I think David Owner was referring to that. Or I can see him at a convention honoring Big Trouble in Little China, when he breaks up the nunchucks and does some martial arts moves, or just dancing. And always with a big smile on his face, always impeccably dressed, right? And exuding class and joy. I'll always remember, though, that beneath that smile was a fighter who always carried himself with dignity and respect, and that's how he wanted our community to be portrayed on screen, because he knew that the way that we were portrayed affected the way people thought of us and treated us and how we thought about ourselves. Peter, we will continue to fight, but thanks to the work you've already done, we're that much closer in reaching our goal of always seeing Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders on screen in all facets of life, including as heroes and romantic leads. People that our children can look up to, aspire to be, and want to be around. We will never forget you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much, Ken. Our next speaker is Jim Lau.
Hi, my name is Jim Lau. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you, David. Thank you all for coming to pay homage to our dear friend Peter, whom I've known for over 40 years. Eulogy is hard. To summarize Peter's life in a few paragraphs is impossible. Look at his life. Look at his resume. Look at his work. Look at his world. His involvement with the unions, the academies, the communities, charities, and fan clubs. Look at his friends, his talent, his character. A soft-spoken man with a big heart who was never afraid to speak the truth and do the right thing. Look at his accomplishment. For one, besides being arguably one of the most recognizable and loved Asian celebrity, he got away with life without a wife. Peter and I have many similarities, as we were born 2 days apart, both dragons, both with an older brother called David, both from Northern California and ended up in Hollywood. We were both martial artists. We were best friends. We've been celebrating our birthdays every year for the past 25 years, along with another best friend, Denny, who just also passed away a few years. Peter lived an incredible life, a life he never took it for granted. Perhaps nobody knows life, especially how fragile and vulnerable life could be, the way Peter did. He was born with a rare blood disorder that he couldn't afford to get a cut on any part of his body where he would easily be bled to death. To deal with such burdensome impairment, Peter, on the one hand, had to regularly take fa gao. It's a Chinese dietary regimen, which, unlike pills, require a lot of work to prepare, but nonetheless help neutralize the balance of his blood level from within. And on the other hand, he had to constantly stay alert from without getting injured. So he took up martial arts, literally for the sole purpose, for self-defense, to stay alive. Good begets good, and one thing leads to another, as Peter continued to learn new things, adding to his portfolio, whereby he also picked up other physical activities like breakdance, jazz, social dance, Tai Chi, Peking opera, and even pantomime. All of which eventually transformed Peter into a physical virtuoso. He was fluid, agile, flexible, operatic, elegant, graceful, and even groovy when he was in the self-marking mode. I'm sure you all have seen his break dance and, Peter's special skill, his physical wholesomeness, finally paid off big time when he landed his legendary role playing Rain in Big Trouble in Little China, one of the all-time cult classic films, which I also serve as one of the associate producers. I still remember vividly about the audition as I was sitting next to John Carpenter, the director, and Larry Franco, the producer. We were interviewing practically every martial artist in town. Many of you are still here. John Carpenter was so impressed with Peter, he kept repeating. I still remember, I love that face, I love that face. And when Peter finished, John Carpenter whispered to my ear, I want him. So I knew Peter got the part even before he did. And the rest, of course, is history. Peter's story to me was about a man who turned a lesser desirable situation into a legacy through acceptance, discipline, perseverance, humility, grace, and faith. Peter often mentioned to me how much he appreciated life, especially his own journey, which offered him an opportunity to fight, to turn things around, and to make things better, not just for himself, but for everybody. Today is Saturday. Every Saturday during the past 10-some years, Peter was a regular at my house in Culver City, where I held a small group of old students to practice Chi Sao, or sticking hands, which is a signature Wing Chun exercise in which one must let go of the mind and trust the pure body sense in order to achieve or release the highest potential of our body function. Peter always enjoyed the challenge, even though he was already an accomplished martial artist in his own right. Peter was always humble, cheerful, and eager to improve. Everyone respected and loved Peter, and vice versa. Well, Peter, glad we're able to spend our final Saturday together, except no more Chi Sao, no more Fa Gao, no more discipline, no more break dance. Just take a break, rest in peace, enjoy the good karma you have cultivated, not just for yourself, but for everybody. Savor the love and prayers from all of us who appreciate you, which you will continue to receive while being missed. Take care. So long, my dragon brother.
Thank you so much, Jim. And now Roger Rennick and Benji Lysot are going to grace us with a very special rendition of Here Comes the Sun. to show our appreciation to Roger and Benji. Thank you so much for that. Continuing on with our eulogies and floor tributes, I will call up Eric Lee.
Greeting. First of all, I want to give the condolences for all the family member that is here. And also, thank you so much for everybody supporting Peter to be here because this is a special Memorial Day for him. Okay, you all know that we all have a very good vision about him. You know where he's, what kind of influence for you. First of all, I want to tell you, Peter is a very unique gentleman. And I know a lot of people, but he's very unique. I first met Peter back to early 70s. He was training with an instructor named Johnny So, okay? And I know him way back there. Johnny was a very good friend of mine. Peter was one of the students. That's how far, that's back to early 70s. So, and then later on, we did he went into a lot of tournament, and he does combine with the martial art with dancing, like Jim was talking about it. And Peter always asked me to do Tai Chi, but I always turn him down. But I do Tai Chi a little bit. But I told Peter, Tai Chi is so slow. I went to Tai Chi picnic about 40 years ago. I just got back today. So anyway, I do Tai Chi. I will encourage everybody. It's very good. And second, I met Peter. We did a film together, which Jim Lau was one of the producers in it, and I was one of the gangsters in it. So the bad guy in the movie, but I'm still in. So anyway, there's somebody also in here. I think next person is James Liu is going to talk about too. I was in a movie called Big Trouble in Little China where James Hong played heavy in the movie. So that's how we met. And then also Peter entered a lot of tournament, Mr. Parker's tournament. I don't know if you heard of Mr. Parker. He was Elvis Presley's instructor. So I also into a lot of tournament in those days and back to the 70s. So that's how we got really close. And we traveled together, went to many events. So I just want to tell you, he's a very unique person. And until we meet again, okay, adios. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Eric, and thank you for introducing our next speaker, James Liu. Where is James? Is James not here? Okay, so we will move on to John Stimmitz.
Everybody's been sitting for a pretty long time, so just stand up once and make one rotation in the direction of your choice. Try not to all turn the same way because we don't want to hurt the church. Just stand up and rotate once and then sit back down. Don't move too much or somebody might take your place. Okay, thanks. My name is John Steinmetz, and I'm a member of Peter's Tai Chi class. And there are several members of his class here today, and I'm here to speak about his class and about Peter as a teacher. And it's no big surprise that the qualities you've been hearing about come in his teaching as well. Some students have taken Peter's class for more than 20 years. He started this sometime before 2003, starting at the Pasadena Senior Center. And a lot of these students have moved with him over the years to other places, to a church and then to different parks. And several of those longtime students are here today, including some who are newer like me. I'm not one of those longtime veterans. I started about maybe 9 or 10 years ago when my wife convinced me that I should come to the Tai Chi class that she was taking. I was very nervous about that. I was really tense and was pretty sure that I was going to embarrass myself. But I saw pretty quickly that Peter welcomed students at all levels, and it looked like he wasn't going to pick on me or embarrass me, so I kept going to the class. However, for a long time, I really had no idea what I was doing. But Peter's class made room for a kind of gradual learning that I had never experienced before. I'll tell you a little later how that worked. The class meets twice a week for an hour. It's a class for seniors. You can't get into the class unless you're 50 years old. And I remember one time a very young-looking woman showed up to start taking the class, and many of us were joking together about asking to see some ID. When I started, one student had been in the class from the very beginning. She was in her late 90s, and she brought her walker to class, and she did the movements as best she could. There were other longtime students and other beginners like me and people in between, and there were some students who were really good at Tai Chi. So Peter would put the newcomers in the middle of the class, and around the edges of the class, he would put the most experienced people, so that when, as in Tai Chi, we turned around to face different directions, the new students would always be able to follow somebody who knew what they were doing. Right away, from the very beginning, I could see how wonderful it was to watch Peter move. As many of you know, and some of you have said already, his movements were compelling to watch. He was both strong and graceful. One classmate still says, he has no elbows. He flowed along through these movements as if gravity didn't exist. You would find out when you tried to imitate him that gravity did, in fact, exist. So in my brief time on this earth, I'm glad to have spent some of my time trying to imitate in some small way Peter Kwong's way of moving. Peter has evolved what must be a unique way to teach Tai Chi. He starts with a warm-up, loosening up muscles, stretching, getting the breathing going, sensitizing to balance and the basic Tai Chi positions. And then he gives the lesson of the day, a lesson on one movement of Tai Chi. And over many, many classes, he works his way through all the movements, one movement at a time, works through them in order. So after many months, then he starts again at the beginning and he keeps going. So those of us who've been with him for a long time have been through all the movements with these lessons many times. And during the lesson, he might promote Tai Chi's health benefits, and probably he'd throw in a joke, usually a bad joke. And then he'd apologize for the bad joke and tell another joke. Maybe he would demonstrate a ballet or a hip hop move to compare with how Tai Chi worked. And he would even imitate the Three Stooges, like that. After the warm-up and the lesson of the day, we did the heart of Tai Chi, what he called the 108. Now, I gather that some Tai Chi teachers, when they're working with beginners, they spend the whole first year just doing the very first few movements. You don't get to do the whole thing. But Peter led every class through all 108 movements. And if you were a beginner, you just do your best, trying to follow the people who knew what they were doing. I was confused for at least 6 months. And then slowly I noticed that even though I had no idea what was going on, my body was starting to figure it out and picking it up bit by bit. As he led us through the movements, he would narrate the sequence, which in our class took about 25 minutes. So he gave a running narration of the whole 108 movements. I think his teacher used to announce each movement by name, but Peter also described how to do it, and this is a unique approach, I think. Here's something he would say. Turn both hands over and roll back to the side. Turn your waist, set your hands, and press. The hands will deflect upward as you shift your weight back. Set the hands and push to the heart. Our class continues to meet twice a week, and we lead ourselves through the warm-up, and then a recording of Peter's voice leads us through the 108. During COVID lockdown, Peter taught the class online from his living room. Now, some of you may suspect that Peter was not exactly a digital native, but he figured out how to use Zoom for Tai Chi. And after COVID, he figured out how to do a hybrid approach so those students who wanted to keep learning at home could stay at home, and the people who wanted to be with him in person could be with him in person. He always took care to show the movements to the camera so the people at home could see what he was showing us who were with him in person. When he traveled, he took his Zoom with him, and he always taught the class right on schedule from wherever he was at whatever convention or meeting. And so he was very loyal to this class, and I think that loyalty is something other people have brought up. Of course, his loyalty extended well beyond class time. When that oldest class member and her walker could no longer attend the class, Peter visited her in her assisted living. And when another student lost her husband, Peter right away offered to help, and at the memorial service, he was the greeter. His generosity and kindness shone through. He would say often, "I love my seniors." And just today I realized when he started that class, he wouldn't have qualified to be a member of it. In recent weeks, he sometimes stayed after class to teach traditional Tai Chi exercises that were not part of the regular class. So Peter, I'm very grateful to you for your introduction to this ancient discipline and for this way of teaching that was completely new to me, that over time has helped me to learn Tai Chi. All of us in the class send our gratitude and our love to you, Peter, and our blessings for wherever your next movements may take you. I'd like to end by having us all here today do the salutation that Peter led at the end of every class. So let me show you first. I'm going to have to put the mic down to do that. First, you will make a fist with your right hand. Not yet, but when we do it. And then you're going to take your left hand and cover the fist with your left hand. Now, normally we do this with elbows out, but that's not going to work today. So do it with elbows down, like this. So let's do this with the words that Peter used to end every class. The right hand forms the fist for fighting. The left hand makes the peace we so deserve.
Thank you so much, John. Next up is Wailani O'Herlihy.
Hello, my name is Wailani O'Herlihy. Thank you for letting me talk today. I appreciate it. Thank you for the ohana here. I always thought Peter felt he was Hawaiian as well. We met in the 80s through our dear friend Chris Payne, who's sitting right over there. He was the man, the DJ in Gardena. Peter was my best dancing partner on the floor, showing off his unique locking skills, the bump, rock steady, salsa, lambada, bachata, and ballroom dancing at a great club we used to frequent, Gung Hei, in Gardena. Those were the days, and at times people would clear the floor to watch us dance. It was amazing. Till this day, I never forget that big aloha smile he would have after dancing. We would listen to Kalapana, Cecilio and Capono, and Hiroshima. Then one day he made a big movie called Big Trouble in Little China and The Golden Child. I thought, boy, he's famous now and won't have time for his friends anymore. But he was always true to himself and never got a big head. He introduced me to many actors in the martial arts world, sumo wrestlers. I always felt safe going out with Peter because although he was always the best dresser, I knew no one could give us crap because he had some skills, if you know what I mean. I mean, there were gangs in Gardena and LA. He would always call to see when the next Hawaiian event was happening so we could meet up. We'd meet up at the Ho'olaulea and eat Hawaiian food together, or we'd go to Gardena Bowl or Caro's. Those were the days. He's shaking his head because he knows. Later in life, I found out we had mutual friends from Malibu, Doria and Craig T. Nelson. Doria was an Olympic champion in Tai Chi, and Peter had that in common with Doria. I met up with her last night, and she gave me these pictures of Peter. And some of you may be in the pictures. She's sorry she couldn't make it, but she's giving a donation to the Martial Arts Museum in honor of Peter. Keep up that smile in heaven, Peter, and thank you for gracing us with your presence and your dear friendship. Our lives have been engraved by your beautiful aloha.
Thank you so much, Wailani. Now I'd like to call France Nguyen.
I'm too short. Dear Peter, friend, I'm sorry that you left this world for a place above us where we will meet someday. I miss your profound discernment and what is good and what is right, and the many years we teamed together on the board of the Screen Actors Guild. You will be missed by your friends more than they know. Until then, my friend, Om Shanti Shalom. À bientôt, and love and peace. I will read for you a poem of Lord Coward, which I think would be very much something that he would feel. And this was a few weeks before Noel Coward passed away. When I had fears, like kids had fears, of the moment I ceased to be, I console myself with vanishing years, remembering laughter, remembering tears, the peace of the changing sea, remembering friends who are dead and gone. How happy they are, I cannot know, but happy I am who love them so. March 29, 1973, Noel Coward, Blue Harbor, Port Maria, Jamaica, West Indies. Bless you all.
Thank you, friends. Our final speaker is Debbie Ann Wong.
I'm Debbie Ann Wong. This is Linda Standart, one of Peter's good friends of 37 years. She's going to stand up here with me as my support. I've known Peter for 10 years. We go back in the 80s. That's the first time when I actually met him. We didn't stay in touch, and then we reconnected again in 2015. This time, as we began our courtship, Peter introduced me to his glamorous world that I was not used to. This consisted of his show business, red carpet events, academy screenings, receptions, TV Academy events, Hawaiian cultural events, Asian culture events, Tai Chi classes, martial arts, charity events, and events that he would MC. In the meantime, I introduced him to my world, which was completely different. My world was consisted of hosting small gatherings with close friends at my house, swim parties with barbecues, going to plays and concerts, going on walks with my dog, and going to dog shows, and watching him watch me go through home improvement projects, and my interest to go on vacations and travel. Despite our differences, we were able to incorporate our interest. In addition to the time that we spent together, Peter was very involved in politics and Asian American activism to promote change in Hollywood, and spent countless times keeping in touch with his friends and maintaining the loyal friendships, mentoring others, supporting and helping his friends financially, emotionally, and in any way he can. I still remember a time when he told me he was going to help his friends move. And I said to him, are you sure you want to do that? You're not going to get hurt? And of course, he chose to help that person move. He would never turn a friend down if they needed help. Peter had countless talents. Whether it was his love for dancing, acting, martial arts, teaching his Tai Chi class, or his balloon art, which some of you probably have received in the past. He left an imprint with his love to help others. Peter always found time for other interests important to him. He spent time with two of his favorite charities, the Martial Arts Museum, and volunteering as a celebrity waiter for the United Cerebral Palsy Celebrity Waiter Luncheon. This was held at the Coronado Island Marriott Resort. The charity is part of David Marish Enterprises, which is the biggest producer of celebrity fundraising events. Peter has volunteered for over 13 years and was one of their top producers. He would use his sword techniques to entertain the crowd, and they just loved him. In honor of Peter, I have decided to continue the legacy, to volunteer to this organization. I will be working along with Wenda Murphy, which is the celebrity event coordinator. She wanted to be here today, but could not because of her doctor's order. I've been in contact with Wenda, and we will begin Peter's legacy by first honoring Peter at this year's celebrity luncheon. And Wenda will personally present the check with all the donations at this year's luncheon in his honor. Secondly, Peter's name will be mentioned in the September to October United Cerebral Palsy newsletter. And lastly, Peter will now be honored yearly at this luncheon, which I will now be participating annually. Peter has left a mark on all of us with his efforts. Have gone a long way with his big heart. He has achieved more than most people in their lifetime. I have been overwhelmed with all your responses and the opportunity to speak to most of you, to hear Peter's life. To hear your stories of how Peter impacted your life. I want to thank everyone for being part of Peter's life and attending the service today. I want to also thank those who have offered to help me and call me to see how I was doing. Let's let Peter be the inspiration to all of us to mentor and help others and to be a positive role model. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Debbie. The other quote that you find in your program is from psychiatrist and best-selling author Dr. M. Scott Peck. Anyone here read The Road Less Traveled a while back? That book famously begins with the simple phrase, "Life is difficult." And this quote of his is similar. He says, "Life is complex. Each one of us must make his or her own path through life. There are no self-help manuals, no formulas, no easy answers. The right road for one is the wrong road for another. The journey of life is not paved in blacktop. It's not brightly lit, and it has no road signs. It is a rocky path through the wilderness." You've heard so many details of the rocky path that Peter found through the wilderness, but I'm guessing that there's one detail that maybe only a handful of people in this room here remember about his early rocky path. In the early 1970s, when the Partridge Family TV show was very popular, Peter was one of the few, if not the only Asian American guys in Sacramento who had David Cassidy's shag haircut. Did you ever see that? I can't get that image out of my mind. He showed a lot of daring, and he pulled it off. Now, as we've heard, much more well-known, his singular path also included being the Asian American James Brown on the dance floor. I always used to feel sorry for whoever was his female partner because they were easily forgotten. Maybe not you, Wailani, but you know, I used to be in a band in Sacramento, and when Peter would get up and dance, like everyone stopped dancing and just cleared the floor. But it was also his prowess as a serious martial artist. We all know that Peter's path led him to become a skilled actor and a tireless advocate for for actors and others in Hollywood. But have you ever wondered how Peter came to embrace the double-edged sword of being both a craftsman and a crusader? And you know what? Let's let Peter explain this himself.
My sophomore year in high school, Martin Luther King was assassinated, and Bobby Kennedy was assassinated.
Okay, there shouldn't be music
A
playing.
lot of unrest happened at our high school. Being 33% white, 33% Hispanic, 33% Black, and 1% Asian, we had the Oriental Culture Club that I instigated. And I started my politics very, very early in life, where I said, you know, I'm going to be a class representative, student council. So that sense of duty, of representation was instilled into me at a very, very early age, because my parents said, you have to be beyond yourself and you have to give back. It was just the way we were raised. And we were raised in the same church, the First Chinese Baptist Church.
One of the memories you just jogged in me was this time when the youth group went out to a miniature golf course in Sacramento and encountered overt racist imagery against Chinese people.
Well, I think it was back then the church decided to have a outing. So they went to play miniature golf at a local North Sacramento facility. It was called Fantasia Golf Course. And the theme of the golf course was everything Oriental, ornamental. At that time, we had some serious issues to deal with our own youth leaders in our group that chose the place, that chose to defend the actions of the golf course owner after I made a big hoopla.
Do you remember what some of the specific images were, some of the signage?
Well, we were going through the golf course back then, and the first thing you said, the rules of the road, and it was depicted a Japanese caricature doing karate moves, going ha, chop, chop, you know, that kind of stuff. And it said, you break these rules, I break your arm, legs, you know, things like that. Written down in that broken...
On that little Oriental script.
Yes, and it shows all the rules. Keep your rice-picking hands out of my rocks. And then it says, even Chinamen like eat tacos. You know, things like that. And so when I start seeing those extremely offensive words, such as Chinaman, I started crossing them out with my little scorecard pencil, because that's the only pencils that we had.
Yeah.
So here I'm scratching this out.
Takes a lot of scratching.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, you know, if I'm to be arrested for defacing private property, then so be it.
Yeah.
But I just couldn't handle it anymore, because at each hole was a different sign that was extremely offensive. Buck teeth, pigtails.
Squinty eyes.
Women dressed up little geishas and things like that. So it was quite horrific. And I took pictures. I wrote a diary of an Asian protest. I wrote as part of my college midterm, documented the whole event from day one of going and then dealing with the church, meeting with the community jumping in at that time with their own agenda, because mine was just simple: treat people right. Be nice to people. There's nothing wrong with that. But then comes other elements of a more of a political agenda, of a financial agenda, of a city council agenda. So it got really complicated. And the first round, they compromised with changing the photos, reducing the buck teeth, not using the word China and things like, but still it had that same Oriental motif until maybe 5-6 years later, they brought it up again, and then they finally took down all the offensive pictures.
And yet, until you actually started protesting this, how many hundreds, thousands of people played miniature golf there, Asian or otherwise, and didn't take offense to it?
Well, if you don't step up, everybody will push your boundaries on the other side, because know that every time I'm trying to make something happen, there is an equal or more powerful force trying to push back and not make it happen. That's experience I've dealt with in the Screen Actors Guild boardroom, even within ourselves. And as I institute change, trying to help the actor, period, not actors of color, but just actors, actors' rights, wages and working conditions, et cetera, et cetera. As I enter into the politics of being a governor at the Television Academy, representing the performers branch, That too, representing actors and their issues about rules and regulations, how to get an Emmy, making things equal on the playing field so that the star doesn't get the immediate spotlight, but how to run an Emmy campaign. So the small man on the totem, wave bottom, can get their work acknowledged so that you can have truly the ideals of an academy, which is excellence in television, excellence in feature films. But then who is to define the excellence? It's the voters around you. So in order to find true effective change, you're not going to bring down and destroy the academy. You're going to have to work within. And if you're going to work within, then you have to be part of the process. Every year I try to encourage people to join the academy. And I find so many actors not interested. They're more interested in developing their, I said, don't you realize that if you do this, you are improving your career? That you are making a change, not only for yourself, but everybody down the line that's coming up. I'm very empathetic to what people go through. There's a tremendous amount of sacrifice involved. Where's your focus? Is your focus on your career, or is your focus on trying to affect change? So it's a double-edged sword there, you know, because as you're going in, you don't realize the resistance that you're going to encounter. That being said, then at the same time, I still have to get the resumes and the pictures and then go to the auditions and do the more difficult job, which is, you know, to land the job. And that's another way to make change too, is to get this face. You can't see it, but I'm just framing my face and saying, this is the face of America. I ain't going away. I'm not Asian American. I'm just American. I'm not an Asian actor. I'm just an actor.
Originally, I was going to try to sum that up, and then I realized, oh, I have the soundbite. How unusual and how precious to let the deceased actually speak to us. I have a podcast, and Peter was nice enough to come on in 2016. And like I said, we go way back. And as I was reviewing the episode with he and I realized it's like, oh, this is a really rare opportunity to just hear from Peter. As I close this little message, I want to build on his imagery there at the very end. He says, I find that life is often like a two-edged or double-edged sword. And if you think of the swords that he liked to use, the Chinese swords. And in Peter's case, as we've heard repeatedly, one edge of his sword was constantly honing his craft as an actor, an American actor in both film and television. And that's a lot of work in and of itself. It's easy to not fault any actor for just wanting to work on their craft. But Peter had clearly the other edge, and that was to be a clear and courageous voice in Hollywood to level the playing field for everyone. I think Peter correctly credited his parents, if you heard that in the clip, that they taught he and his brothers at an early age that it was really important not just to think about yourself. But I also want to think that his growing up in our little Chinese Baptist church in Sacramento was also a source of his selflessness. As I was looking through the Bible, I found a passage, and I know that I'm sure we were taught in Sunday school and heard from the pulpit, that to me really captures Peter's life. It's from the book of Philippians, chapter 2, verses 3 through 4. Don't be selfish. Don't live to make a good impression on others. Be humble, thinking of others as better than yourself. Don't just think about your own affairs, but be interested in others too and in what they are doing. Didn't Peter really exemplify that? He listened to his parents. Maybe he listened to our pastors in those days. But I think those two edges together explain why we are feeling at such a loss, why we know that we have lost someone very rare and very unique and very special. We were shocked when we heard the news, I know I was, that he had died without warning. And then we proceeded to be saddened, realizing that we lost a wonderful companion and family member, a steadfast friend, a stealthy sparring partner and patient teacher, a consummate cast member, and a fixture at almost every Asian American and charitable event that you could name. Peter Kwong was that rare soul who could cut through life's many barriers like a double-edged sword, committed to honing his craft, and yet committed to always caring about people. Once he found his rocky path, Peter trod it with vision, courage, and compassion. Peter, we will miss seeing you on our screens, but you've left an even bigger hole in our lives. Rest in peace and power, because we will never forget you. Let's bow our heads. Once again, O God, we seek your comfort and strength in this time of mourning. Bring to us, especially to David and the rest of the family and Debbie, an abiding sense of gratitude for having someone so special as Peter in our lives. As we now walk through the valley of the shadow of death, take care of us like the wise and loving good shepherd that you are. We pray these things in the name of Jesus. Amen. To close out this memorial service, I'd like to bring David Kwong back up to share a few words of appreciation.
Hold the mic this time. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming today. Peter would be absolutely amazed. I also want to thank all the speakers that came out and appreciate all your kind words that you have said tonight. Please stay for the reception that we have opened up in the lunchroom over here after this service. And then the room will be opened up for viewing after that. So please, if you haven't had a chance, come up, say goodbye to Peter. If you like, feel free to take pictures. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you once again, and I think we can pay our final respects. So if the funeral directors can help start us from the back, you're welcome to come up. And you'll have some time after lunch, but before we go to lunch, if you'd like to pay respects and just say something to Debbie and the family, you're more than welcome. But thank you again for being part of Peter's service.
I was the one with all the glory. It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again.
Damn, who knew? All the planes we flew, good things we've been through. That I'll be standing right here talking to you about another path. I know we love to hit the road and laugh, but something told me that it wouldn't last. Had to switch up, look at things different, see the bigger picture. Those were the days, hard work forever pays. Now I see you in a better place. How can we not talk about family when family's all that we got? Everything I went through, you were standing there by my side, and now you gon' be with me for the last ride.
It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way, from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again.
First you both go out your way and the vibe is feeling stronger. What's small turn to a friendship turn to a bond, and that bond will never be broken. The love will never get lost. And when brotherhood come first, then the line will never be crossed. Established it on our own when that line had to be drawn, and that line is what we reach. So remember me when I'm gone. How can we not talk about family when family's all that we got? Everything I went through, you were standing there by my side, and now you gon' be with me for the last ride.
Let the light guide your way. Yeah. Hold every memory as you go, and every road you take will always lead you home. Oh, it's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again. once in a while, just once in a while. I wish you would come up to me and tell me what you'd like to be. Would you like to be rich and famous? Sure, no one else could blame us for dreaming casually once in a while, just once in a while. If we let our cares just drift into space, we could always find the time and the place. Maybe Saturn or it, maybe Mars. The both of us just searching the stars, just dreaming casually. There's so many times tried to analyze just what the future's made of. And as a minute pass, stare into the looking glass. What do I see, Lord? It can't be me, growing old so gracefully. Still the world goes by, and though I want to try, it keeps leaving me behind. Someday soon I know we'll all have to go, so dreaming can't be that much of a crime. Once in a while, just once in a while. If we'd all forget about the past, many more days ahead, much more to last. I've been told before the end is nearing, but nevertheless I can't go on fearing when I'm dreaming casually. Once in a while, just once in a while, once in a while, just once in a while, once in a while, just once in a while, once in a while. Growing old so gracefully. It keeps leaving me behind. Someday soon I know we'll all have to go, so dreaming can't be that much of a crime. Once in a while, just once in a while, once in a while, just once in a while, once in a while, just once in a while, once in a while. Down at the beach or party in town, making love or just riding around to soothe your mind, yeah. Is what we like to play. Yeah, yeah. All day, all day, all day, all day. To soothe your soul. Yeah. Let's have a picnic, go to the park, rolling in the grass till long after dark, to soothe your mind, yeah. Down at the beach or a party in town, making love or just riding around is what we like. Have a picnic, go to the park, rolling in the grass till long after dark. Down at the beach or a party in town, making love or just riding around. Let's have a picnic, go to the park, rolling in the grass till long after dark. Down at the beach or a party in town.
Here's to the ones that we got. Cheers to the wish you were here, but you're not. 'Cause the drinks bring back all the memories of everything we've been through. Toast to the ones here today. Toast to the ones that we lost on the way. 'Cause the drinks bring back all the memories, and the memories bring back your. There's a time that I remember when I did not know no pain, when I believed in forever and everything would stay the same. Now my heart feel like December when somebody say your name. 'Cause I can't reach out to call you, but I know I will one day. Yeah. Everybody hurts sometimes, everybody hurts someday. Yeah, yeah. But everything gon' be alright. Gonna raise a glass and say, hey. Here's to the ones that we got. Cheers to the wish you were here, but you're not. 'Cause the drinks bring back all the memories of everything we've been through. Toast to the ones here today. Toast to the ones that we lost on the way. 'Cause the drinks bring back all the memories, and the memories bring back your. Memories bring back your. There's a time that I remember when I never felt so lost, and I felt all of the hatred was too powerful to stop. Now my heart feel like an ember, and it's lighting up the dark. I'll carry these torches for you that you know I'll never drop. Yeah, everybody hurts sometimes, everybody hurts someday. Yeah, but everything gon' be alright. Gonna raise a glass and say, hey, here's to the ones that we got. Oh, cheers to the wish you were here, but you're not. 'Cause the drinks bring back all the memories of everything we've been through. Toast to the ones here today. Toast to the ones that we lost on the way. 'Cause the drinks bring back all the memories, and the memories bring back your. Memories bring back your. Memories bring back your. Memories bring back your.
see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I never knew. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
just like a Your heavenly power gets stronger by the hour. Heaven must be missing angel. I'm captured by your spell. Oh girl, can't you tell? Heaven, yeah, must be missing angel. Say so good, say so good, say so good, baby. It's so good, yeah. It's just so good, so good, so good. It's just so good, so good, so good. Just so good, so good, so good. It's just so good, so good, so good. You sheltered me from harm, kept me warm, kept me warm. You gave my life to me, set me free, set me free. The finest years I ever knew. I had with you, and I would give anything I own, give up my life, my heart, my home. I would give everything I own just to have you back again. You taught me how to love, what it's all. You never said too much, but still you showed the way, and I knew from watching you. Nobody else could ever know the part of me that can't let go. And I would give anything I own, give up my life, my heart, my home. I would give everything I own just to have you back again. Is there someone you know, you're loving them so, but taking them all for granted? You may lose them one day, someone takes them away, and they don't hear the words you long to say. I would give anything I own, give up my life, my heart, my home. I would give everything I own just to have you back again, just to touch you once again.